We are full of concepts and we think we're living, but we're really conceptualizing.
Sea change when you go from being in your mind to being in your heart.
In the Course of Love, it's about discovering our true identity.
Welcome everyone to our show. This is Heart to Heart, how our Course of Love is changing our life. And I'm Lynn Kidd. I'll be your host today. And I'm going to welcome our lovely guest here in just a second. We're going to discuss a few things about A Course of Love and how the Course of Love is changing our life, and we're integrating this into our personal lives. So let me welcome today our guest from Dallas, Texas, Brett Louviere. Welcome, Brett. So honored to have you here today.
Namaste. Thank you, Lynn, for the introduction. It's glad to be on a video. I haven't done one, so it's like a new opportunity.
It's a new opportunity for you to do a Zoom video. That's awesome. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started, Brett. I was wondering if you could just share a moment or two with our viewers, a little bit, but maybe about your personal journey before you came into A Course of Love.
Okay, my personal journey has been one of many humps and byways and tryways and all kind of stuff before I came to ACOL. I came to ACOL at a time in my life when I was in my darkest tunnel, totally in a lot of pain, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. I wasn't where I am today. I also have as a result of this book, I'm amazed at how much the journey has changed for me from the beginning when I started from a friend in New Orleans that we were doing A Course of Miracles, and then I got in touch with A Course of Love. So it was really, really a good fit for me.
Okay, yeah. So you actually discovered A Course of Love through a group with A Course in Miracles.
Right. Actually, no. It was from a person by the name of Louis Drago. He actually said, "Brett, have you heard of A Course of Love? It's a continuation of A Course in Miracles." And I'm like, okay. My eyes started getting bigger and new. So I knew that, yes, of course, I'm for this book.
Okay, and then was there anything specific going on in that time in your life when you discovered A Course of Love, or not anything really particular?
I've been on the road of a personal discovery through a lot of drugs, alcohol, and gambling, and the whole bit. And I was pretty much a destitute back then. I was not cohesive to life. My recent journey has been that I am now back on the clean wagon, and it reminds me that I was just in a state of pain. It was an immense pain. I don't know how I survived what I have, but thanks to A Course of Love that I can have that relationship again.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. That was a significant time in your life when you discovered A Course of Love. So that is, so wow, that's really beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's being very open and vulnerable, and I really appreciate that.
It was my most vulnerable place in my time.
Yeah, wow.
And I've been homeless. Ever since 2016. So it was a tough one.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about A Course of Love and how that's speaking to you, and we can go from there. Is there like a passage that's really speaking to you, that's very powerful, you'd like to share with us today?
As you and I both know, I've been doing quotes of the day through chapter 26, the devotion chapter.
Mm-hmm.
They have 3 other chapters with that are very good, very consoling, just very heartful with the time of tenderness. But the one that I want to focus on is the return of unity and the end of thought if you know it through the dialogues. The answers lie within you, at the heart or center of yourself, as do all answers. Your desire to make me a teacher in the same as your desire to make your thoughts into answers that will provide you with direction. As was said earlier, you dare not, as yet, turn to your own heart for answers. Yet your heart is a well of spirit from which true answers are drawn. Your heart is a full well, a wellspring from which you can continually draw with no danger of ever drawing on an empty bucket. You need never thirst again when you accept this. You need never seek again for answers which this has been accepted, but you will know and fully accept that the answers lie within. This was a paragraph that I read through Mari when we were doing our dialogue. And, I asked her when we were talking about, there's a lot of symbology in this. Jesus was pretty much telling us to be empty and let the water come in and heal us as we go through this journey. But really, it's more of a personal journey. The answers to the heart is what we need to be fully aware of more.
Yeah. Did you remember that symbology that Mari had given you about? Because I love this too. I absolutely in love with this passage. Yeah, where all true answers are drawn, and that it's a full well, and it's the wellspring of life, and we never thirst again when we drink from this well. It's the waters of living spirit. And I do remember, I might remember, because I did see your video at Mari, and I think when you asked her about the symbology of this, when she was writing this or receiving it from Jesus, and I think she said, if I'm not mistaken, she had a symbology of a ladle, like, dipping in, like a ladle that you dip in and bring up water, and you dip into the well. I think she might have said something like that, but I really get what you're saying. And did you want to say a little bit more about drawing from the heart and the wellspring?
The other philosophy that I actually practice is that the heart will never lie to you. No matter how much you go through journey in life, the heart will never lie to you. It's the center. It's the part that makes you both human and divine. And I believe that once we allow that well of spirit where we can draw from the ladle, we become more whole, and we become more involved instead of separated.
Yeah, so we're actually we're drawing from the whole experience. It's like the well is full, and when we drink from a full well, it fills us up with the living spirit, and that's the whole experience. That's kind of like what I'm hearing you say. Is that kind of like what you mean? You're empty and then you're full. Is that kind of what you're saying? Yeah.
When you get to the dialogues, it really, really turns into a personal adventure with God, with Christ, because we are the living Christ, while we are the accomplishment. I think that's part of ACOL, where it's a little bit gentler than A Course in Miracles. Even though A Course in Miracles is more about the mind, A Course of Love is about the heart.
Yeah.
A lot of the principles and a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about. And if I can go briefly to a time of tenderness really quickly, when you learn to hate, you will learn to love. Where you learn to fear, you will learn safety. Where you learn distrust, you will learn trust. And each learning experience will be a learning experience because it will touch your heart.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for reading that, Brett. That one
Yeah,
also touches my heart. A time of tenderness. Yeah, that's so beautiful.
I think it's also apropos that we're dealing with the time of tenderness in our own lives with this coronavirus,
Hmm.
and it's really wreaking havoc. And we don't know what's going to happen of it, but if we hold deeply to the truth of who we are and what we are, then the identity that we can become will be
Hmm.
ours.
Will be ours. Yes. Yeah, and and the time of tenderness is a beautiful opening into that space of the embrace, as what it says. This is the time of the embrace, and that's just like a really comforting um, feeling in this time of tenderness for the whole planet right now, going through COVID-19 and all the global energy that's being affected. And I do feel like these energies with the time of tenderness are opening up, and we're being called to look within and see with the eyes of the heart. So that is so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Brett.
Thank you.
I just have one last thing before we close out. We're running on our time. Did you want to give, you have any couple words of advice or suggestions for anyone brand new who's coming into A Course of Love?
If you're coming brand new, you really need to be a ladle.
Okay.
You really need to be a ladle because there's several mind changes that are going to happen if you go through the book. And you're going to see the eyes of your heart more and more as you travel through the book. I would suggest you read the book from front to back and just let the spirit of Jesus come into your heart.
Beautiful.
A variety of different things, some things not yet seen, and you will actually see the miracles of the heart being performed right before your eyes. So,
Oh, thank you, Brad. That was so nice. Oh, beautiful. Okay, well, our time is up, Brad, and I just want to really thank you. It's an honor to have you here with us and to join us on Heart to Heart Conversations with A Course of Love readers. And I just want to also send out a big thank you to all of our viewers and for supporting us in A Course of Love.